Hello and welcome to my beginner's guide. I'm sorry this took so long to make, but this is my biggest video I've done so far, and I'm really excited to be doing something this huge. Today I'll be doing my best to show you how to be successful in encounters as a beginner. It can be very daunting at first to play the game and get into it, but I promise you'll be an amazing player. I made this guide assuming that you've done the tutorial and played at least 2 to 3 matches on your own. Now the first thing to understand about encounters is the 2 game modes you can pick between, 1v1s or free-for-all. These 2 different game modes will have a big effect on how you will go about understanding the game. For example, some characters are better in 1v1s and don't do so well in free-for-all. Other characters do well in free-for-all but not so well in 1v1s. All I can change depending on the game mode, so please keep this in mind. I recommend testing them both out and seeing which one you like more. Once you do that, you should try to stick to that one game mode so you can focus and learn about it. 1v1s tend to focus on how well you know matchups, individual character tech, and having a positive mental game. Free-for-alls tend to focus on how well you know what the other players are thinking, strategy, adapting your playstyle to what the situation calls for. There's much more to this, but we'd be here forever talking about it. You really need to evaluate the situation and adapt no matter what game mode you're playing. There's never one answer that solves everything. Assuming you've picked your game mode that you want to focus on, I'll tell you some pretty concerning characters for each game mode. You 100% need to experiment on which characters you like and dislike. Don't let tier list stop you from playing the character you want to play, or meaning the character that you want to mean. For 1v1s, I'd recommend Ryan, Construct, Alina, and Reyna. All of these characters are relatively easy to play and will grow with you as you get better at the game. I encourage you to give all of them a good try. For free-for-all, I'd recommend Construct, Walter, Arash, and Charlemagne. All these characters can hit more than one person at a time and can deal with being attacked by more than one person at a time. They are all also relatively beginner friendly. You do not have to stick to these characters if you don't want to. There's a lot of characters for you to experiment with, so I highly recommend you do your own research into what characters you will enjoy. Everyone's different. These are just my personal recommendations on who to play as a beginner if you don't know where to start. Now, onto some fundamentals that every Encounters player should be aware of. The first thing I want to cover is something called knockback canceling. It's something a lot of newer players don't know about. Whenever you get knocked off the stage really hard and you dash forward mid-knockback, you can cancel the knockback of whatever attack knocked you back in the first place. This can save you from things that would normally kill you. You can dash forward by pressing F or double tapping W. The next one is a movement tip. When you guard, you can't move, but you can dash and jump as much as you want. Use this to dodge moves like Pac-2's right click. People do not use dashing and guarding at the same time enough in my ranked games, so this is something I want to see more. The next thing to understand is shielding while attacking. With most characters, you can shield while attacking or while using abilities. When you do this, you will still take a bit of damage, but any knockback done to you will be cancelled. Make sure to practice this and get a good feel for it. It will drain your energy very fast, but how fast it drains depends on what character you're doing it with. The last thing I want to cover is how to control knockback. This doesn't apply to every character, but 80% of them can control the knockback of their attacks. If we take a look at Ryan's ranged attack, we can see that it does a good bit of knockback directly backwards when a shot on flat ground. We can make this move much more deadly by jumping and then firing the projectile. This will knock them back and shove them downwards too, forcing them to use more energy to recover. Characters like Fiona and Ryan can make good use out of this. Keep all these tips in mind while you play and try to actively practice them, and I promise you'll rank up easy. Speaking of ranked, I have some tips for you if you want to get into it. First, try not to care about your rank. Your rank does not define you in any way, so don't get so down on yourself if you lose a few matches. Keeping a positive mental is key for success. Which leads me to my next point of you should focus on improvement over ranking up. If you have to lose ranked matches to get better at the game, it's 100% worth it. As you improve, your rank will naturally rise up. Good preparation is another important thing to think about. Eating, sleeping, and exercising are all important factors to your performance. With all this in mind, you'll be an amazing player. And thank you so much for watching.